Hello, Wiffle Nation, and welcome to the 17th episode of the Huntington Wiffle League podcast. I'm your host, Josh Smith. With me is my co-host slash guest,
Patrick Rail,
Greg Sowards,
Jeremy Ray,
and Jeremy Litton.
After a 4 or 5 month break of podcasts, it's time for hashtag New Year, New League. We have some major changes that we've never had. A transition from one season to another features as many changes as we're about to announce in sequence in this episode. Starting with something that's been rumored for a while in our own league and throughout different leagues. I, Josh Smith, have officially stepped down as the commissioner of the Huntington Wiffle Ball League. I have ran leagues for 10 years in West Virginia, consistently, and never really had any breaks, and I'm finally giving up the reins. And I don't want to be like some of these other commissioners that handed off the league to somebody and ended up having to come back, or more tragically, handing off the league to somebody and then the league ending and declining. So I have absolute confidence in the people that are going to be running the league next year. They're going to do a hell of a lot better job than I ever did, and I'm still going to be helping. So the new rules, or the new roles rather, are as follows. Patrick Rail, who has been around since 2013 for the Fall Ball League. Played for the Pitch Slappers, Wee Willie Wiffle, and Sit on My Base. Pretty much ran the Howell Wiffle tournament this past fall. Is going to be the new head commissioner of the league. Greg Sowards will remain in his number 2 position as the co-commissioner. Jeremy Ray, who has also been around since 2014 with Sit on My Base his whole entire career, and has been writing the ever-popular Jeremy Rankings article, the Power Rankings, is going to be the deputy commissioner. So there's going to be a triumvirate running the league. I will be the webmaster and head writer for the website and stay on the rules committee with the 3 aforementioned people. Jeremy Litton, one of the league founders, will continue to be the media specialist and also on the rules committee. So all is well. Everything will be fine for the 2016 season. There's no reason to fear for stability in the league whatsoever. It's going to be better than ever in 2016. I would like right now to hand it off to Patrick to say some words about his new position.
Well, thank you, Josh. I'm looking forward to this new task of running the Huntington Wiffle Ball League. As you said, I put together the Hollow Wiffle tournament, and that ran really smoothly from the get-go. Josh, had to kind of step aside because of new working conditions, and Greg, is always busy at work. So I kind of put together the Hollow Wiffle tournament and had help from them running it. And that ran smoothly. What I'm looking forward to is, like you said, we have a lot of new rules coming into place, new formats that we all think is going to make the league better. Hopefully grow this league even more, but stepping into your shoes is going to be tough.
I can't think of a single person to take over my portion, my share of the responsibilities that would be better than you. So everybody else is simply either not qualified or too busy. So you're going to do a fine job.
I will finish what you started.
We'll start this podcast off with talking about, where we left off. We haven't had an episode since the season ended, and I think we were going into the playoffs or just finished the playoffs. So what has happened since then? We had our first ever tournament, and it was a charitable one that went to the Children's Hospital of Cabell Huntington Hospital in Huntington, West Virginia. Bradley Burke and Patrick here had a major role in the organization of that, and the rest of us did minor things to make it happen. It was a smashing success. We had 12 teams, and it didn't rain, so it was amazing. So Patrick's going to sort of let us peek behind the curtain here, leading up to the tournament, and give us his final thoughts.
Well, like you said, it was me and Bradley Burke, and first I want to take the second to say that without Brad, this tournament wouldn't have been able to get off of its legs. We had 12 teams show up. 2 of them were from Columbus, Ohio. They came all the way down from Columbus to play in this tournament. One of the teams from Columbus ended up winning. They were Dinger City. They beat Brew Jays in the final of the tournament. The Brew Jays was captained by Huntington Owens, Andrew Westcott. Had a lot of Huntington Wolfball players on it. You had a couple good teams. Huntington Wolfers came out and kind of surprised everybody on how well they did. Swamp Donkeys was the other team from Columbus. You had MUATA. You had the free agents team, which Bradley kind of took over. The Brox Bombers, which was captained by Anthony Stidham. He kind of finished out the season with Huntington Wiffle Ball last year.
Playing white tees.
You had Chicken Wiffles, Spartans, Pirates, and 3 guys and a girl.
Oh my.
Scandalous.
It was a very competitive tournament throughout. A couple of teams kind of showed up and surprised. I think going into the seeding, Huntington Whifflers was the number 1 overall seed, which kind of shocked everybody.
It was Bradley's team, wasn't it?
No, that was
Frank Schultz,
okay, yeah.
just based off of run differential. We had 3 huge sponsorships for that tournament. Huntington Health and Rehab was a half sponsor, along with West Virginia Realty. All the food was donated by Stewart's Hot Dogs. All the money went to the Hoops Families Children's Hospital at Cabell Huntington Hospital. It was through the Cabell Huntington Hospital Foundation. We are planning on having another one of those tournaments next year in October, with details being released once it comes. So if you're interested in any of those details or interested in sponsoring it, please contact us at HuntingtonWolfballLeague.com.
Thanks, Patrick, and we'll be right back after this break.
Do you want to listen to more HWL podcasts? Hell yeah! Then go to HuntingtonWolfball.com and click on podcast. Woo!
And here with the wrap up of the 2015 season is Deputy Commissioner Jeremy Ray.
Deputy Commissioner, that's an odd title. Well, at the end of the wettest season in the Huntington Wiffle Ball, by far, so out of my 2 seasons that I've been in it,
It was a real hard season, too.
Breaking Balls ended up coming away with the victory with a 6-0 win over Sit on My Base, which was pretty much predicted to be the final game was between Sit on My Base and Breaking Balls.
That almost never happens.
I wish it would have not have been in a puddle, but we decided to finish it. Everyone was done with it, with the season, and congrats to Breaking Balls on their final victory.
Sit on My Base's second chance to take a title home, and they failed.
Yeah, 0-2 in the championship. Do you remember the score?
Of which
the championship.
It was 6-0.
6-0. What was it? The first 3 or 4 innings went fine, and then we had an absolute downpour for like 40 minutes or something.
And it got to the point where throwing in it was miserable. But
batter's box was like 6 inches underwater.
I will say this: Drew McClanahan actually, that is the best game he's pitched all season long. Like he actually
that was his masterpiece.
That was, and he
maybe his going away party.
That was some 2014 Drew McClanahan pitching.
Yeah, and that's what we haven't seen all season. And he came in there and just dominated, and we, as Sit on My Base, couldn't hit him.
He hinted that it could possibly have led to his retirement.
Yeah, so
it's
kind of like John Elway going out on top.
Yeah, that may be the last we've heard of Drew McClanahan. Possibly. We hope not, but it's a possibility.
We love you, Drew.
Please come back, Drew.
So
on my team.
So I'm hoping
Yellow
that
Beaver Fever.
it will. It won't rain as much this year. So that's the final of everything. Everything played out. Only 6 teams showed up for the final playoffs. So that pretty much defined our year of just 6 teams showing up.
With the upcoming season, we have a couple of important dates to announce.
Holy shit!
Yet.
Well, first up is, like I said earlier, we will be doing a second Hollow Wiffle this year. It will be sometime in October. We'll get those dates out as soon as we can. Next up is the winter meetings. We're going to try to have a winter meeting last weekend of February,
Oh, snap.
so that we can cover all the rule changes that we're going to be going over in the next 15-20 minutes on this podcast.
Rule changes.
You hearing this shit?
You haven't even been commissioner 5 minutes.
Yes!
And I have a platform that I'm running on. First one, bring more black people to the league.
Oh, snap.
Ha! Got him!
Child, please!
But in all honesty, the first couple of rule changes we're looking at is that we will no longer be playing on Tuesday nights.
What?
We are not doing the star rating system.
Fuck me!
What? I was counting on that.
We are not playing every single week.
Aren't we just a bunch of long-tailed cats in a room full of rockers?
Is this Waka kickball now?
Pussy Willow!
Horses!
The new changes, and we'll discuss them as we go, is we are looking at playing on one Saturday every month in April,
What is this,
Hey.
your period?
June, and July.
How many bikini tops do I have to get to my cap? 3?
The reason why we're doing this is because everybody kind of got bored with the league as we went along last year. It was a hard effort of getting your team to show up every single Tuesday and committing it, especially with the rainouts, and everything going on.
Some
this
like it
wa-
wet, Patrick.
I do.
Easy
Under the
access!
Under the sea.
This year, we're looking at one Saturday a month where you can schedule around it.
Just like the National Guard.
This is close to the National Guard. And we can get together, play some quality wiffle ball, and move on with our lives.
But how do you have quality wiffle ball in one day?
Are you gonna be our new dad?
You know,
I'm glad you asked.
Quality is for communists!
How do you have quality wiffle ball one Saturday a month? The answer is easier.
Obama.
A tournament.
More like a tournament.
there's no Waffle House involved, damn it.
There will be Waffle House involved.
There better be Waffle House involved.
A tournament will be played one Saturday out of every month, with the team winning the tournament, getting more points. And at the end of the season, we will have one tournament in July that will be the Tournament of Champions, so to speak. Because if you win that tournament, you essentially win the league.
The Masters.
Do I get a yellow jacket or anything?
So
You do
I
not.
can be shitty the entire season except for that one tournament.
Absolutely.
But you're gonna be seated really fucking low.
Are you saying I have a shot of actually winning something?
We're not going that far.
That's the great thing. Most people have a shot. Most people not named Jeremy Led.
I think you will always have a shot, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy Ray.
So you're telling me we're having the Hollow Wiffle tournament again next October. We're having a winter meeting sometime late in February. We're going to not play the season weekly format on Tuesday nights. We're going to play one Saturday every month from April through July. And then the people that do well in the tournament get on a point system and get seated higher or lower based on their points that they've gained throughout the 3 tournaments. And the 4th tournament of the Masters. And we're not doing the star system.
Yes, you are correct. Those are my changes this year.
Fucking whore tits.
Reign of Terror.
And this isn't debatable.
Trump! Trump!
Adolf Hitler!
Hitler, Hitler.
Hitler!
Hitler! Hitler! Hey!
So I think to hash this out, a lot of people are going to be listening to this right now and be like, why are they talking about Hitler? And why are we not really kind of having a season, but we're still sort of having a season? What the fuck's going on? How come Josh isn't running the league? What happened? So those are a lot of changes to digest.
Well, I can tell you why Josh isn't running the league. It's because everyone in Wiffle Nation hates Josh.
He tried
That's
to rape
why.
me.
That's true. Not the right part, but
Well,
so
That is true.
we had to really reevaluate the league based on our availabilities running the league. Myself more so than a lot of others. And that's not so much something that we're going to discuss, but while we were trying to figure out how to level the competition, which is what's gotten us to now, we wanted to emulate Whipple and Southeast Michigan's star rating system. And that's forced us to evaluate everything from rules to downright to the format that we play our league in. And I think that considering what we're doing with the format here, the necessity for a star rating system goes completely out the window.
but we still love you, Carl. Love you very much.
So, to be specific, our first tournament is going to be in April. Second one will be in May. Third one will be in June. And then the tournament of tournaments, the points you've gained in the first 3 tournaments will determine your seeding in the 4th tournament for the final season champion. Now, how are we going to have this sort of like a season, but also keep the tournament nature? Each tournament is going to be completely on its own. You pay by tournament, not for the whole tournaments. I think we agreed $10 a person per tournament.
And it comes out to the same as what people had paid before.
Yeah.
Which was $40 for the whole season.
Except this one is cheaper because if you pay for the first 3 tournaments, the 4th one is free.
Yeah. If your team participates in all 3 tournaments leading up to the 4th one, that's right, it is absolutely free to play in the final tournament.
So you're saying I can only pay $30 instead of $40?
Yes.
Yes.
Out fucking standing.
Yes.
Now there are catches on each of these. The
What are
league
they?
will be setting a bar of 16 teams max per tournament.
Except the final one.
The final one we will examine a little bit closer to the date
Oh, snap.
and see how many teams we need to allow in that one.
I forgot how
But
to
16 teams in each tournament. It's going to be first come, first serve on those spots. It's going to be a 3-game round robin, followed by a single elimination tournament.
Exactly how it was at Hallowell.
A lot of people approached me at Hollow Wiffle and was excited to continue playing wiffle ball, except the days just never matched up.
Yep.
A Saturday, everybody can find a free Saturday in their month to come out and play wiffle ball, or you're just not really wanting to if you can't.
Yeah.
The rule changes that go along with these tournaments is that we're going to be doing a overhand lob style pitching. Now, why would we decide to go to overhand lob? We wanted to be baseball players. We wanted to have that fast pitching in wiffle ball. But there's only one really great pitcher left in the league now.
And that's Jeremy Ray.
He's not even really that great.
And to ease into the competitive nature, to give every team a fair shot at a level playing field, lob pitching was the way to go.
Even if we didn't, we're just not a pitcher's league, Patrick.
Yeah.
We're just not.
And it adds a...
Can I use my Captain Caveman bat, finally?
No, it's
No.
still yellow bat.
Damn it.
This just gives... It's going to be more competitive. Every game at the Hollow Wiffle, minus a couple. I mean, there was a couple teams that were just completely outmatched. But every game at Hollow Wiffle was competitive. It was fun to watch. It came down to the wire.
Hell of a lot more competitive than any game in our season. That's for sure.
And you want that. You want the competitive drive. You want somebody to say, hey, I might have had a bad tournament this week, but I can come back and win the next tournament. You don't want a team coming out there seeing the fast pitching and disappearing. The tournaments also add into the fact that we could get more out-of-town players to come in for one day to play.
So I finally challenge you, the Carl, to finally come to Huntington and play us.
Brother! So, how are we still going to maintain the league part of the Huntington Wiffle League instead of the series of tournaments formerly known as the Huntington Wiffle League. So what we're going to do is those first 3 tournaments, every team is playing 3 games before they play the first part of the bracket, and that's the round robin games. Also, everybody plays the first round before people start getting hacked off and eliminated. So what we want is to take the first 4 games each team plays each tournament and put that into the statistics and standings to correlate some sort of semblance for a season, which it is. And for that to maintain a lot of integrity, I'm hoping that a lot of teams that end up playing in April play all the way through at least the 3rd tournament so that we have pretty good standings and game plays that are fairly even. We don't want to count all the games that all the teams play, first round robin game all the way to championship, because we played in a league in Hurricane over 5 years ago, and the games played did not match up. It made it real hard to gauge competition within the league from the outside looking in. And we still are playing regularly enough that I consider us a league, and we still want to be included in the National Wiffle League Association and the rankings and all that. So what's going to happen if you play in a tournament and you only play once? You're going to be you're going to have 4 games played. But if you play in all 3 tournaments, you're going to have a 12-game quote season. Everything else above that is tournament statistics, because it varies from games played from team to team. So we're still technically having a season. It's just not at all in the sense that we used to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So also, with us not being fast pitch, like you said, it is going to open the door to a lot of competition. But we've been a fast pitch, or at least an unrestricted pitch, which is slow all the way to fast. Whatever, as hard as you can throw, you've been able to throw it since we started this league in 2012. Where's it gotten us? We went from a 5-team league in 2012, we went up to 6 in 2013, up to 8 in 2014, and stayed there. And we saw basically how the season sort of went last year. We are heading for decline if we do not change. 6 teams is likely, 4 teams almost definitely if we did not change our format. So it's not just about a competition edge to sort of make things even. It's just a necessity. If you do not have an ace on your team and it's fast pitch, what's the point of showing up? So this is for the everyday player. Not everybody has a Division I college pitcher who happens to live in the area and likes to play wiffle ball. It's a very rare demographic.
Shut up, Jeremy.
I was a Division I.
Pitching in wiffle ball is hard. It's a craft, and it requires a lot of dedication, a lot of time, which a lot of people do not have. Having an ace in 2014, there were enough aces in the league to where each team, if we, played musical chairs with the rosters, every team could have had a really good pitcher. But 2015, we had 2-3 good pitchers, and we're losing them all the time, and we're not getting them back in. So it's time that we change. So
the changes are necessary to keep this league going.
now, if you don't like them, you don't have to play.
We're not out here to offend anybody. We're not out here to do anything. This is for the betterment of the league. I took over what I felt was looking like a sinking ship. We were losing teams left and right. Last season was everything we could do to stay afloat. We don't want that this coming season. We want more teams. We want more involvement. We want more excitement. Everybody is on board with this change.
On the organizing committee.
On the organizing committee, everybody is on board. We're moving forward with it. We will announce these changes more at the winter meetings. We will go over why we chose this way. But like we said, if you don't like it, vote with your wallet. We don't want to hear why you don't like it. We don't want to hear your suggestions on why we shouldn't do it.
If you don't like it, you don't have to play. If you don't want to play, your voice was heard. The part that mattered.
This is where the league's moving. This is how we're going with it. If it doesn't work, we will re-examine it next year. But we will only face that next year.
Nah, fuck that. Let's talk about why it's going to work.
Why it's going to work.
Yeah.
More people will be able to get involved on Saturdays.
Why is that?
Tuesday night is a horrible night.
It really restricts the amount of games we can play, too.
You can only play 2 games per team on Tuesday night.
If nobody fucks up, and does it rain, and we get started on time, And it
if
finishes
everyone
before
shows
dark.
up.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's Spaghetti Tuesday, and I like my fucking spaghetti just as much as I like my waffles.
It's hard for people to get out of work and hit the field and help us set up and help us tear down, play their games and all that.
Most people work Monday through Friday,
And they got to work the next day.
and Wednesday is just the middle part of your week. So you're already struggling. You're already just waiting on Friday. Saturday, you have
whole
no
day.
college football. It's springtime, so not a lot of stuff is happening on Saturdays. You get to go outside, you get to have fun. People can afford one Saturday. We're asking for one Saturday. I will repeat that. One Saturday out of these 4 months. That's 4 days that we're asking from you. We asked about...
And you're only paying for one at a time. You're not
Yep.
you're not paying $30-$40 for the whole season. You're paying by tournament.
We took up 10 weeks of your time last year. Minimum. With the randouts and everything else, it went above that.
Give us 4.
We're asking for 4. You will literally one Saturday every month. A team can come together and figure out how to put together a roster for just that one Saturday. Also, we can get teams from out of town. We can get teams from hopefully other leagues like Cincinnati Wiffle, like WSEM, like North Carolina Wiffle. We can get teams from Columbus that play in London. We can grow this to the point where every tournament is more exciting teams coming in that get to appreciate this great state and great city that we play in.
I'll say this too. I said it before we started recording, and I'll say it now. And I'll say it tomorrow and any other time that I feel is necessary. This change we're making, this is the future of wiffle ball leagues. We're fusing what a lot of people would consider a golden stick wiffle ball format with what Ski-Bee does and what some would consider maybe sort of how they do the tournament format leading up to the NWA tournament with the regionals and everything. So we are making a big test tube baby here. I feel that it's very low risk here, and I am the most skeptical person in the room. I think this is going to pass with flying colors. And I'm talking to you, OCWA. I'm talking to you, McQuan Wiffle Ball League. I'm talking to you, other leagues that are going to potentially run into problems as your college graduates or high school graduates or whatever the big demographic in your league is that either stabilizes your league or comes to your league to replenish it as people leave. You're not going to be able to play it on a weekly basis forever. Kalamazoo, Home Run League, wherever you are in your formation in your league, you're going to hit a rut and you're going to have to change something. Maybe we're going to be the touchstone that WSEM has been at some point, or PWL, or some of these other leagues. We don't even want credit for it. Fuck it. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now. Someone's going to be doing this with their league, and they're not even going to know that we're the ones who started this in an NWA format. So we're able to have tournaments and still have an NWA season. We're having our cake and eating it too. This is going to be an enormous success. And if it doesn't work, it's not because of the format, it's because we can't get people interested. If it flopped for this, it would have been an even bigger flop on our old format on a weekly season basis. This is the future of Huntington Wiffle Ball League, and I honestly believe it's the future for other leagues as well. Come on out. I mean, you don't have to come to all of our tournaments to be part of our season. You could have a 4-game season if that's what you want. If you're playing in another league, or you're across the river, or you're from Portland, Oregon or something, come and play at one of these tournaments. But if you don't play in any of the first 3, you ain't playing in the last one.
And this is my baby, so I'll explain it a little bit more in depth. How is it going to work on seeding for the last tournament? How are we going to decide where you are seated in that? Well, finishing the tournaments will give you a certain amount of points. Example would be if you come in first place in that first tournament, you will get 15 points. That second place team will get 13 points. And so on down the list. The more tournaments you play, the more points are going to accumulate. So even if you finish dead last in one tournament, you'll still get points for that tournament because you showed up, you still played. So you will get rewarded for that. So if you do not come out and play in, say, the second tournament, it will hurt you in your seeding for that final tournament. Whereas a team that plays in all three, will get points and will get a bump in their seeding, no matter how they finished in the other tournaments. They will be helped on the seeding. This will help if we have a team that can't play anymore. If we have a couple injuries and the team has to drop out, this will help. We don't have to worry about having the same team tournament to tournament. We don't have to worry about teams dropping out and trying to keep one team afloat, which is what we stressed about all year last year, was just getting one team to show up to the field. We want a more competitive league. We want a more interesting league. I love playing against a lot of the HWL players. But honestly, I'd love to play against other out-of-state players. It would just add to more fun and make me look forward to it every Saturday.
And if we didn't say it before, we're capping the first 3 tournaments at 16 teams, if we haven't mentioned already. And as long as you've played in any of the first 3, you have a seat at the table in the final tournament. We're capping the final tournament off. My hope and wish truly is that we have the same even number amount of teams in all 3 tournaments and the final tournament, because that'll make the games played pretty even across the board as far as our quote season goes. But let's say, we end up having 24 teams that have played at different teams, maybe not at the same time, in these 3 tournaments. They can all participate in that final tournament. And there's no round robin games in that last tournament, so you have 2 shots to win the whole thing. You could play absolute shit the first 3 tournaments, and you still have a shot to win the whole thing in the next one.
And if you're skeptical and you don't think it's going to work, just come out and try it. The Hollow Wiffle tournament was thrown together. The way it was put together, I was worried leading up to the tournament. Seeing that tournament run and how well it run and how well everybody had fun, you got a chance to be able to watch other people play at that tournament. During our league, we don't get a chance to watch other teams play. At the tournaments, you will be able to see your competition. You'll be able to scout out a little bit more. And each tournament, you're going to play different teams. You're not going to be stuck. You're not going to be stuck in the same pool. I will promise you that. We will switch it up tournament to tournament. Even if we are at 8 teams, I will make sure that the pools are never the same. That is my promise. That is what I'm going to guarantee to you guys. Give it a shot. If you're a Huntington Wiffle Ball League player, give this a shot. Jeremy's the fastest pitcher, and we're changing it to lob, overhand lob.
To fuck him. We're doing it for you.
With no lube.
We're doing it for you, player we haven't met yet that doesn't want to play because they can't hit the fastball. We're doing it for you.
And Jeremy is on board for this.
Barely. But I think that brings up a very good point. I want to segue to. This is something, if I had anything that I wanted to critique about the tournament, we got some pushback from some players, normally HWL players that participate in this tournament, about what constitutes as medium pitch. We don't want to say slow pitch because we don't really have a way to enforce, you can't pitch past this miles per hour. Okay? What we ask is you throw the ball overhand and the ball has to have a positive arc on it, meaning it goes up and comes back down. You can't throw on a line, you can't throw sidearm, any of that. You have to throw overhand, that's 3/4, right over the top. And it has to have an arc on it. So it's going to force you to lob it in there. If like you can throw a 70-mile-an-hour fastball that has an arc on it, Jeremy Ray will suck your dick. Because it's pretty much impossible to do it unless you're throwing like a bowling ball. You just can't do it. I don't know what the miles per hour that is. It varies by person. But
so can I still throw my weird pitch?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because it drops and it doesn't come in very fast.
As long as it starts out up and comes back down. We're still keeping the first pitch strikeout. Most of the rule book is staying intact. It's just a lot. If you played in the Hollow Wiffle tournament, it's going to be very similar to that. Now, we haven't really discussed some of the finer details. Are we going to keep the pitcher's mound closer to home plate like we did in the Hollow Wiffle tournament, or are we going to keep it at 45 feet? I'm not really sure.
Well, we have a lot of rules to adjust, to look at, to see where we're at.
Yeah.
We will still have rule votes for the winter meetings because we still have rules to change. That's why the winter meetings is important. And we also want to cover everything with you guys in person. We want to get your feedback, but like we said, this is happening.
Yeah, this is not an opinion as far as this format change. This is the law, if you hate it so much you want nothing to do with it, then you probably weren't going to play anyway. That's just my opinion. But your vote or your opinion can be better expressed with your lack of presence. I think it's very disrespectful to come to a winter meeting and turn it into a shit show and argue arbitrarily about some of the most minute details if you are iffy about playing. So, as with all the other winter meetings, I encourage only captains to show up because the more people that are there, the less productive the meeting is. The meeting is going to be different than other ones. It's mostly going to be informative. We're telling you what's going to happen. And if you have any questions, you may ask them. And if there's any rules, as Patrick said, that we want feedback on before we make a final ruling on, or we decide we want to vote, we will then open the floor to that. But it's not going to be a mutinous experience by any means for the organizing committee. You are there to receive that information so that you can trickle it down to your teammates so that we can have an organized, fun event each time, and to vote when necessary. It's a very simple, cut and clear, no complication relationship there. So, that'll be sometime late in February. So, all these different rules of where the mound's going to be and things like that,
we will cover.
We'll cover.
We will get out to you.
But we haven't officially made a ruling on it yet, but we're leaning more towards having 3 fielders plus the pitcher out there instead of just the 2 fielders. I think we've all a majority has agreed on that. So
the roster limit will be 5 players per team.
Minimum is 3. We advise no less than 4 because you're going to be exhausted. So try to have 4.
You're looking at least 4 games every, depending on how well you do.
And if you're an existing player and you heard all this talk about the star rating system, we're not doing the star rating system. We do strongly discourage building super teams because we would rather, if you've got 5 people that play in the league already, and you guys know a lot of people, please split it up and build your own teams. 3 of you go this way, 2 of you go this way, or whatever. And get a couple extra people and get them involved in the game. Because a lot of people don't want to play on a team by themselves and people they don't know. They want to play with you. But you're their friend. Try to make that happen. Try to accommodate and not build super teams because that really kills that opportunity there.
But dominating the plain white tees is fun, Josh.
The winner of each tournament will get a plaque. Each player on the team will get a plaque. Up until the tournament for the championship, where we will bring back the HWL Cup. And the winner of that tournament will get the cup. So you will have something to play for each tournament.
So you're saying that my team has a chance to actually win a trophy in something?
I doubt it.
Because we have always been in second every single year.
Second place gets shits.
Second place still doesn't get anything. Sorry about your luck.
He just gets
a thumbs up.
Cup. Groin cup.
This is the way the league's moving. We hope everybody is on board. We look forward to this next season. We were very excited for this coming season. We look forward to 2016, and I look forward to running this league the way Josh would have run it. Thank you guys for your time on this.
I'm looking forward to just complaining the whole season.
The website, the podcast, all that's going to run as normal. Jeremy and I are going to be running that. Anybody else that wants to have their point of view expressed on the website via article, or you want to call in on the podcast, all you got to do is send us an email at huntingtonwiffle@gmail.com or get with us on Facebook, and we can definitely make that happen. We're going to try to make the podcast a monthly thing starting in February. Unless some major changes happen, we're most likely not going to have a January podcast unless we have some more announcements to follow, which could happen. This format change kind of just evolved over the past few hours, and it was such a perfect solution that
I've been sitting on this change since October.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Sarita about it. I talked to a couple other people privately about it. This is something that I felt was needed for this league. And taking the reins, maybe that was just my way of putting my stamp on this league.
Yeah.
I will be ruling with an iron fist, but I will be nice about it.
Power hungry.
I know.
That's what it is.
They call them dictators.
I do have a dick.
With a tater?
With a tater. It's shaped like a tater.
You might need to get that checked.
Yeah. It's elephantitis.
But I'm sure there'll be more changes to talk about as soon as we. But expect the next podcast to be in February, leading up to or most likely following the winter meeting.
Should be following.
Should be following the meeting. Keep checking the website. We'll start having some articles up in the next few months, especially since we got something to talk about now. I can only speak for myself, but I almost have chills. I was not really looking forward to next season because I thought it was going to be more of the same. These fresh ideas have really excited me for the next year for this league.
Yeah, can you put that thing away?
How do you feel about these changes, Jeremy?
Well, as a pitcher, I hate it. But for the league in itself, I can see where it can benefit by getting more people involved and getting the people that are not able to hit a fastball to play. It gives them a chance. It gives a lot of other players a chance to actually compete against, teams like Sit on My Base and breaking balls because they're not being thrown at you to where you can't see the ball.
Well, I think more importantly, we won't have a whipping team in this format.
Every
We
game
won't
is
have
going
another-
to be competitive.
Yeah, we won't have another Welfare Warriors or plain white tees.
And we were a pitchers league in 2014. At that time, I thought that was just. I thought there's pitchers leagues and there's hitting league, and then if you have a season where you're a pitchers league, pitchers normally enjoy whipping up on these teams. I thought that was just going to be the new normal. 2015 came and went, and it showed us that we put up numbers offensively that we hadn't put up since 2013. We're a hitters league. We're not a pitchers league. It's time to stop pretending we're something we're not. We don't have the goods to back up that.
I still did well.
Yeah, you did, but there's not a pack of you. There's not enough people with those skills to where we can spread them out and create a
Damn it,
pitcher's
Carl.
league. It just can't happen. So it's time to just get real and accommodate accordingly. I had more fun during our Halloween tournament than I ever had at the NWA tournament.
And we didn't get to play in it.
I didn't even play in it.
You
I
guys
also,
do not understand how hard it was to not only run this tournament,
it was torture.
but to watch this tournament
Yeah.
and not be able to play. It was
I
probably
enjoyed
one of
it.
the funnest tournaments I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And here I am on the sidelines doing interviews, making sure the games are running smoothly, and I'm having to watch these games and not play. I couldn't pick up a bat the whole day. I didn't touch a wiffle ball that day.
I played. I was, I think, the only one in here that played that, and we had a lot of fun.
Did you come with us to the London style?
I did not.
Okay, you played in the NWA tournament, and you played in this tournament. What are some main differences for... We have a lot of listeners that they don't play in our league, but they are more familiar with the NWA tournament style. Tell me, not just personally about if it was more fun or not, but just what are some key differences there between the NWA format style and our Halloween style? Because I think it merges the atmosphere of London with the organization of the NWA tournament.
The atmosphere at the NWA tournament was just like a big show. Like there was a lot going on. It was an intimidating factor. At the Hallow Wiffle tournament, I mean, you got all these teams that were coming in from different parts of the country, but it was still like a easygoing atmosphere.
And like more festive.
It wasn't intimidating.
I mean, your team was at the Hallow Wiffle tournament all day long. You guys never left.
No.
You sit there and watch most of the games when you weren't playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like you guys really were enjoying it.
We did. We had fun with it, and we had fun getting to know some of the people from out of state, and got to make friends that way, and it was enjoyable. It was fun to play in that whole day, and still at the end of the day, my body was tired, not from throwing a ball for once, but for actually I got to play the field, which was different for me.
Yeah.
I don't get to play the field.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Don't worry.
I had some. I wish there was. I wish I had.
Not what I heard.
I wish I had some cameras showing, because I made some pretty good plays. It was just fun to show off a different style.
And what we're giving up in the pitching format, we're making up with it with an extra fielder.
Yeah.
I mean, which one do you prefer? Did you prefer the Hollow Wiffle atmosphere or our everyday Tuesday night?
Me as a pitcher, I like the Tuesdays just because I like to
It's
pitch.
easier to work on your progress when you're pitching more often.
Yeah. and I have fun with that. But it's like a double-edged sword. I like both.
Yeah.
So it's not fair to say I like one more than the other because I enjoy the Hallow Wiffle and I enjoy playing every Tuesday.
And you've had more experience with one format. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was fun to cut loose. It's kind of like whenever you go out of state and you're on business and you're able to go to some bar and you don't know and you're able to be something different.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how it was for me. And that's something that I enjoyed, and I'm just kind of curious on how it's going to go on from here and just see how much more, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I'm still going to be here.
Linton, what are your thoughts? You've been involved in wiffle ball since 2011. You were around for the last season of the Garrett Drive Wiffle Ball League, and you've been here since the beginning with Huntington Wiffle League. What do you think this format means for this league?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm agree whatever you say, Massa.
No,
Please don't be me.
No, typically that's what I do, but I think it's a good change. It's definitely, whenever you think about it, it makes more sense. A lot of people can't get a Tuesday night off, or they're just tired from work, or trying to get a bunch of different people together is just a pain in the butt. But if you do it only once a month instead of week to week, it's a lot more feasible. So I definitely agree with that change. I think we need to bring back the Captain Caveman bats. But that's just me.
Do it.
Hey,
No.
Patrick, I plead with you to please bring back the Captain Caveman bats.
One game.
It's not
One
going to happen.
game.
Yeah, I mean,
game.
It's not going to happen.
hey, earlier we did talk about multi-format tournaments where, maybe the first tournament we do
Not
a slow
anymore.
pitch.
No, anymore.
We'll have the fun games for you where you can use the Captain Caveman bat.
Fine.
We'll have a carnival stand for you. How's that sound?
Yeah, we'll let you carry it around with you,
Damn
but
it.
you can't
Why
bat.
won't anyone let me have a Captain Caveman bat?
You know what? If you play against me, I'll let you.
All right.
But on a serious note, it's not just for player availability; it's for our availability. Here's where the rubber meets the road. It's this format, or we're probably not going to have a season.
Yeah.
And it's not an option. We're doing this. Get on the train, or get a head start and get in the dust because we're not accepting speed bumps.
If you like wiffle ball in the Huntington area, this is your last chance.
You only
Because
get
it
one
won't be
shot.
Right.
Mom's spaghetti.
Well, it's actually on your shirt.
Mom's sweaty.
It's going to make doing my rankings a lot more difficult.
You're going to have to come up with another idea for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be my monthly rankings. How about that?
That'll be interesting.
We'll see.
It'll
how
give
we
me
go.
more time to watch the games.
It'll give us more time to edit video.
We
It'll
could-
give us more time to put content on the website.
We'll be able to do tournament draws, do announcements on podcasts about the next tournament.
It'll be a slow
I
burn
can
of the
actually,
season.
and it
I
gives
like
me a lot of time to
And-
actually.
We won't get sick of each other so fast.
Yeah.
I
I'm
know.
sick of you every time I
I know.
see you.
With all those rained out games, I got sick of everyone so damn fast.
We will try to have secondary dates on a month each month of the tournaments to have in mind in the event that it's rained out.
You were my favorite person,
And we will-
Mr. Litton.
We will try, if it looks like it's going to be a storm, we will try to, I'm assuming, I don't want to speak for anyone, but I'm assuming within 24 hours of the first pitch, we will have made a definitive call of whether or not that tournament's going to take place.
No. We're still going to do the old way. Get there
We can't wait
an
till the
hour
11th
before.
hour.
You lick your two fingers, your index in your middle.
Stick
hold
up
up
your
there.
ass.
No, hold it up there.
Our rain out,
And be
our
like,
rain out policy
There's going to be
will
wind and
updated,
rain.
and we will make the call. But the way I see it is that we play a kids game. If it's raining and it's not thunderstorms and it's not downpours, we're going to play in rain at points.
I think we should still play in downpours. Fuck it.
If there's a
But-
front coming in and there's a bunch of red, no.
Yeah, we will not play in thunderstorms and lightning, but we will, if it's just showers throughout the day, we will be playing. But other than that,
So
we
wait,
will change the
it says-
policy.
If I say, "Oh snap, there's lightning," and there really is lightning, we're canceling, and then it like
We will have to
downpours?
have a postponement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This season, I think it's just going to be run a lot better. I mean, the enthusiasm on this league committee is a lot higher than it was last year. We went into this I think we were burnt out from the 2014 season going into 2015. It was damn from the start, and we've got a
And
real
you
chance
were the
here.
queen
We've
of the
got
dam.
we've got a real chance to make this good. If at any point during the season and you're going to be playing this year, remember how tired you were. Remember how you had to rush from work to the field, help finish setting up, play your 2 games, tear down your field, go to work tomorrow, or go eat with your friends and try to hang out. You can do that easier if you don't work the next day. A lot of us still work retail jobs, or we have demanding jobs to where
Retail.
we're going to be working
I
a
love
lot of Saturdays, and it's going to take some effort to get that Saturday off, but it's way less effort than what it is to get every Tuesday off. This is clearly 100% the right choice to make, and I'm glad we made it.
I love it.
Thank you for listening to the 17th episode of the Huntington Wolf League podcast. We'll be talking to you in February after our winter meeting, and we should not have an episode in January unless we have some other news. Keep checking our website at www.huntingtonwiffleball.com. Find us on Facebook at Huntington Wiffle Ball League, or send us an email at huntingtonwiffle@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter. And more importantly, start building your teams and start signing up and expressing your interest in the next season. Signing off, I'm your host, Josh Smith, with
Your new commissioner, Patrick Rail.
Really don't remember my title, but Jeremy Ray.
And the producer, Jeremy Litton.
We'll talk to you soon.
By the way, you don't have to be lonely at whifflersonly.com, aka
Hashtag New Year, New League.